ICE, unmask. What are you afraid of?
And then there's the question of whether Newsom's ban will survive legal muster.
America, California Governor Gavin Newsom just made one of the most reckless political moves that we've ever seen. After banning ICE agents from wearing masks during raids, he literally taunted them by saying, "What are you afraid of?" Well, I'll tell you what they're afraid of. They're afraid of getting shot by criminals, which is exactly what happened to LAPD officers in Los Angeles. But here's the kicker. Residents are so fed up with Democrat failures that they're posting flyers urging people to report illegal immigrants. And it's happening right in Newsom's backyard.
ICE, unmask. What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of?
LA Mayor Karen Bass is praising the state's lawmakers.
What I'm so proud of in our city is that we have legislative resistance.
What is up, guys? Tyson De La Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. This story perfectly shows how Democrat policies create chaos and endanger law enforcement while regular Americans fight back with grassroots resistance. Let me break down the sheer arrogance and stupidity of what Gavin Newsom just did. California just became the first state to ban law enforcement officers from covering their faces during operations, specifically targeting ICE agents conducting immigration raids.
The governor signed a number of bills that will immediately prevent immigration agents from targeting schools and hospitals and eventually restrict those agents from wearing masks.
We have the right to stand up and push back.
But Newsom didn't just sign this dangerous law. He taunted federal agents with his smug facial features and erratic hand motions. He said, "ICE unmasked. What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of?" Well, Governor Gavin Newsom, let me tell you exactly what they're afraid of. They're afraid of dying. They're afraid of being doxxed. They're afraid of their families being targeted by cartels and radical left groups who want them dead. The Department of Homeland Security reports there have been 1,000% increase in assaults against ICE agents. 1,000%. And Newsom's response is to make them more vulnerable and then mock them for wanting protection. Here's the good news. The federal government isn't playing Newsom's games. Acting U.S. Attorney Bill Asaley immediately responded, saying California has no jurisdiction over the federal government and that Newsom's law won't be in effect on this administration's operations.
We're very confident the state of California does not and cannot have jurisdiction. If you had every state trying to regulate the federal government, you would have complete chaos. That's not how the system was set up. And so this is silly.
DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin put it perfectly.
DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin says on X, "Good news for Americans and public safety. ICE and DHS law enforcement are part of the federal government. We don't need to abide by this garbage."
The White House also issued a strong statement defending ICE officers. ICE officers wear masks to protect themselves and their families from being doxxed. ICE officers act heroically to enforce the law and protect American communities with the utmost professionalism. And just to prove how dangerous Newsom's policies are, look at what happened in Los Angeles just after midnight. A man with a rifle opened fire on LAPD officers after police responded to reports of somebody firing a rifle into the air.
Details are limited, but we know this all began when police got a call about a person armed with a rifle. The caller said that person was firing that rifle into the air. When police arrived, a man took out his weapon and shot at them.
This is the reality that law enforcement faces every single day in Democrat-run cities. Armed criminals have no respect for law and order, no fear of consequences, and no hesitation to shoot at police officers.
It's believed officers shot back, but we don't know if that man was hit. We do know that no officers were injured, and we are just now learning that police have detained multiple people for questioning.
Thank God that no officers were injured, but this is exactly why ICE agents need protection. When you're dealing with violent criminals, cartels, and radical activists who want to dox and target law enforcement, wearing masks isn't about hiding, it's about survival. But here's what's really interesting. While Newsom and Democrat politicians are protecting illegal immigration and attacking law enforcement, regular Americans are fighting back. Flyers have appeared in Vista and San Marcos, urging residents to report undocumented immigrants.
On the heels of ICE arrests posted on social media come these flyers.
That the people that drop these flyers feel a bit emboldened.
2 were brought to the attention of Vista immigrant advocate Noni Reyes.
The flyers read, report illegal aliens in your neighborhood, at school, at work, at church, at restaurants. There's nowhere to hide. Let government do their job.
Report illegal aliens in your neighborhood.
And are reading it for the first time.
At school, at work, at church, at restaurants. There's nowhere to hide. Let government do their job.
Now immigrant advocates are upset about this, but you know what? This is what happens when government fails to do its job. When politicians like Gavin Newsom protect illegal immigrants over American citizens, regular people take matters into their own hands. What's brilliant about these flyers is where they were placed. They showed up in predominantly Latino neighborhoods, right where they would have the maximum impact. The activists knew exactly what they were doing.
They knew where they were going. I mean, this is sort of, it's a predominantly Latino population.
The flyer was found here at the foot of this traffic signal. This corner is busy.
One flyer was placed at a busy intersection that serves as a community bulletin board. It's going to be seen by hundreds of people every single day. That's smart grassroots activism.
It's kind of a bulletin board of sorts. There are garage sales, there are yard sales that are advertised here. So it's going to get a lot of traffic. It's going to be seen.
And the message is clear. They're catching people who are not supposed to be here, who are committing crimes. This is about law and order, not racism or hatred. Meanwhile, LA Mayor Karen Bass is celebrating legislative resistance against the federal government while her city burns and her officers get shot at by criminals.
LA Mayor Karen Bass is praising the state's lawmakers.
What I'm so proud of in our city is that we have legislative resistance, we have resistance from local government and state government, and we have resistance on the streets.
Bass says she looks forward to the day that we no longer have to protect ourselves and fight our own government. But she's not fighting the government. She's fighting law enforcement, trying to remove violent criminals from the streets.
I look forward to the day that we no longer have to protect ourselves and fight our own government.
This is the same Karen Bass who let her city burn during riots, failed to prepare for fires, and now wants to make it easier for criminals to target federal agents. The goal of this woman is unbelievable. America, this story perfectly illustrates the insanity of Democrat governance. Governor Gavin Newsom bans masks for ICE agents, then taunts them for wanting protection, while criminals are literally shooting at police officers in his state. But regular Americans aren't buying the bullcrap anymore. They're posting flyers, reporting illegal immigrants, and demanding that their government actually enforces the law. This is grassroots protection to failed Democrat policies. Newsom asked, "What are you afraid of?" Well, Governor, your own citizens are afraid of the chaos that you've created. They're afraid of the criminals you've protected, and they're afraid of the violence you'd enabled with your reckless policies. The federal government is right to ignore California's unconstitutional law. ICE agents will continue protecting their identities because their lives depend on it. And despite Democrat obstruction, they'll continue removing violent criminals from American communities. The flyers in Vista and San Marcos show that Americans are fed up with sanctuary policies that protect criminals over citizens. When government fails to do its job, the people will do it themselves. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.